Hello, this is Simon Klein from TradeSmart at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on the 30th of July 2017. Welcome to this week's episode of Where is the Dollar Going Next? And what you see before you is the dollar index on the daily chart wound back to the end of last week. We said last week that we may bounce, but the odds are greater on a continuation of the move to the downside to the demand below. So let's see how the market played out last week. So on Monday, the market actually gapped down and moved to the upside. On Tuesday, we actually moved down here and actually closed back up to the upside, looking bullish. But on Wednesday, the market continued slightly higher and then sold off and moved down into the demand zone over here. On Thursday, we moved slightly further down and then bounced from the demand zone. And on Friday, we ended up moving back to the downside into this daily demand zone. So the question is this: where is the dollar likely to go next this week? So again, we're in demand, so we may very well move to the upside, but I think the odds are greater on a continuation of the move to the downside. So in order to do that, we have to close below this demand zone. If we do, we're likely to continue moving to the downside, so long as we don't immediately snap back into the demand zone. And likewise, if we move above this pivot over here, we're likely to continue moving to the upside. So let's take a look at the weekly chart. And as you can see, we're down into this demand zone that we said we're likely to move down into last week. So we may bounce from here to the upside, very much like we said last week, or we may continue moving to the downside deeper into this demand zone. If we break it, we're going to continue moving lower. And again, if we look at the monthly chart, we can see we are in the 5th month down into the demand zone. And even though we may bounce from this demand zone, since we are a number of months down into this monthly demand, this demand zone is not the strongest demand zone, and it's most likely that we may actually continue moving to the downside and actually break this demand zone, as we said in previous weeks. So these are the odds of where the dollar is likely to go next this week. If you like this video, please hit the like button below, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe at the end. This is Simon Klein from TradeSmart, wishing you the best of luck with your trading this week.